Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. The WBC mandatory challenger Dillian Whyte has allegedly failed a PED test. Dillian Whyte, as reported by BoxingScene.com, has tested positive for a banned substance. So you can see here on screen, this is the article. It says that a July 17th test came back with a positive result. It says a knowledgeable source says that it was reported to the Whyte camp, including promoter Matchroom Boxing and the British Boxing Board of Control UKAD, prior to Whyte Rivas. However, the BBBC allowed the fight to proceed as scheduled. Under rules in place in the United Kingdom, Whyte has a right of appeal. UKAD takes the position until the adjudication process is over and due process is complete that there has not been a finding that the fighter is in breach of its PED protocols and no sanctions can be put in place by the British Boxing Board of Control. So that explains why the fight went ahead after the A sample tested positive, allegedly on July 17, that finding coming back. So we need to have more details on this come out. This is breaking news at the moment, at the time that this video was published. Very few details are out. BoxingScene.com has reported this news first, and there it goes on to sort of say down here that the WBC was likely unaware of this finding, and it likely would have withdrawn its sanction from the fight had it known of the alleged failed test. So this is not very good news for Dillian Whyte at all on a number of fronts. We have to, at this point, say that this is just the early information. More facts, more information is still to come, no doubt, on this. Statements by Whyte, Hearn, others, I'm sure, will come out regarding what's happened, what the substance is, and what the process is next. And no doubt the WBC will be wading in on this as well. But Dillian Whyte, on the surface, it doesn't look good for him. And he does actually have a history with performance-enhancing drugs. He did serve a 2-year ban earlier in his career. That was for an over-the-counter product that had a substance in it. I believe it was Jacked 3D. So Whyte has actually fallen foul of drug testing before. We don't know the circumstances around this at this point, so it's hard to cast too much judgment about what's actually gone on here. But on the face of it, a test has come back, the A sample with a banned substance in it. The result came back on July 17th, and Dillian Whyte and the Oscar Rivas fight went ahead. And I guess the question is, if this is upheld, what will happen in terms of this fight? Will it be the result be turned over? But we're getting ahead of ourselves on that front. But Dillian Whyte has certainly been talking in public about the likes of Jarrell Miller and some of the behaviour of other boxers that have failed tests. So we will have to see where this all goes and whether he is proven to be a hypocrite here, because obviously not a good look. This is a very categoric sort of story from BoxingScene.com, and this isn't just some local rag with no credibility at all. BoxingScene.com wouldn't have gone ahead with this information and publishing it if it didn't believe in the source, in the information. So I'm sure they have had their lawyers legal this story that's gone out to ensure that they are on the right side of things here. So they must be very sure and have categoric proof that a test has been failed. So I don't believe that this has just come out of nowhere to try smear Dillian Whyte. But we shall see what happens next, because this is a terrible look for Whyte, given the history of the previous ban, some of the statements that he's made in public, but also given where he's at in the heavyweight division right now. He is considered a top 5 fighter there or thereabouts. He's just finally got the WBC mandatory. He's at a position in his career where he's maximizing his earnings right now. He's a pay-per-view fighter in the United Kingdom. He's had some big fights for some big money, and clearly some of that can go all away with a positive test. And people, if this is confirmed as a failed test, will also cast aspersions on previous fights. That's just what happens. That's what we did with Jarrell Miller. So there is more to come with the story. This is just the early developments, breaking news as it were. So what do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.